Welcome, everyone. Divine Creator, we ask that the light of highest awareness fill the minds and hearts of those who are open to your light. We ask that they be assisted and strengthened in their resolve to achieve peace using peaceful means. May their minds, their hearts, and their actions reflect the divine will to good for all. Comfort, strengthen, and support those who are in a difficult situation in their mind, body, or spirit. Bring confidence to them that your divine hand is at work in their life. Amen. Greetings and welcome. My name is Reverend Mary Huber. I'm pastor of the Community Chapel of Holistic Healing. We are a non-denominational, non-profit spiritual fellowship founded in 1977 by Reverend Michelle Luson, a mystic and channel for the multidimensional consciousness which we carry here in this organization. She had an apparition of Swami Sivananda many years ago, in which he asked her to do this very thing, was to establish this organization and place it here in the Washington, D.C. capital, so there would be a light here for their functioning. We are here to aid in personal and global spiritual transformation. We have chapel services twice a month, and we have a website, CCWH.com. You can find the schedule there. We also maintain a prayer list, and you can submit names there as you need to. Now, at this time, those who have joined, I believe, are on mute, and we will begin, as we always do every chapel service, with the recitation of the three healers, or the faith, hope, and charity affirmations. These affirmations were channeled early on by Reverend Michelle Luson, and they balance every system in our body. They're very powerful. You can say them along with me. I believe in the spiritual existence of myself as a perfect image of the divine creator. In this reflection that is my physical embodiment, I have faith in the supreme guidance of my soul for my balance, my needs, and my opportunities. Outside of myself, there are perfect images, and nothing can delude my thinking otherwise. Hope affirmation, acknowledging my faith in the omnipresence of my divinity. I hope for realization, awareness, and acknowledgement of the existence of the great I am within myself. Charity affirmation. In understanding faith and knowing hope, I pledge my actions, my desires, and my thoughts to the performances of myself on the physical planes of the earth, to honor, to love, and to enlighten all that is a reflection of the divine outside myself, so that my perfection is imaged back to my Creator. So help me God. So this evening, our topic is on love. Love's forgiveness, to be specific. And I would like to first start with an understanding, before we go into that, of the tripartite flame that is the essence of God, or the I am presence in your heart. These are colored pink, gold, and blue, and are aspects of the consciousness of God. They do appear as flames to a sensitive or an intuitive. The love, wisdom, and power of your divinity, your I am presence, is anchored there. Now, this is Saint Germain's description. Your heart is indeed one of the choicest gifts of God. Within it, there is a central chamber surrounded by a force field of such light and protection that the Ascended Masters call it a cosmic interval. It is a chamber separated from matter, and no probing will ever discover it. It occupies simultaneously not only the third and fourth dimensions, but those other dimensions unknown to mankind. This central chamber is called the altar of the heart. It is that connecting point of the mighty silver cord of light that descends from your God presence to sustain the beating of your heart, your physical heart, giving you life, purpose, and cosmic integration. This spark of life from the Creator's own heart is called the threefold flame of life. There it burns as the triune essence of love, wisdom, and power. Now, I've taken great deal of what I'm going to say is directly from Saint Germain's work. He said, know that the full power of the 3x3 is the mighty momentum of the stream of love that issues from God's heart. Filling the universe with abundant joy, it flows forth into your heart. This is the cosmic font of pure love that springs up as the crowning radiance of each manifestation in nature, in the angelic host, and in mankind. This love is also the motivating power behind all angelic action. Therefore, those who would draw very close to the angelic forces know that they might receive their protection and radiance and blessing. That's what they're there for. Know that you will be most wise to keep harmonious at all times within yourself and to shun all forms of human discord. Remember, true love is the great magnet that draws forth the power of God's heart that is charged with his holy wisdom. The secret to evoke power, then, really lies within the heart of love. It must be acknowledged here that those who work with the first ray successfully invoking power to be, power to do, power to create, that's what the power is here. It's God's power. Do so by turning to the great power of love and there drawing forth the power of God. Now, the first ray is also the ray of the will of God. Duality that exists in this world happened as a result of the fall of mankind from understanding their walk with God in oneness. The law of the one, based on the unity of being, functions within the framework of human reason and human events. And when it comes full circle to an individual's experience, it will support truth and expose error. The true divine polarity of Alpha and Omega, the plus minus of the Godhead, and of each member of the Trinity are the masculine, feminine counterparts of being. These are complementary, not opposing, always fulfilling the law of the one as the divine whole. Love is a synthesis of power and wisdom. This true synthesis of the divine attributes reveals that love, wisdom, and power are in reality the one indivisible whole which can never be divided or be divisive. Love is the unbeatable cosmic force. If you would be an alchemist of the sacred fire of divine love, or at least a would-be master of the mysteries, you would continually enkindle love. Love is compassion and kindness. Love is tolerance and tactfulness. Love is support, patience, long-suffering and forbearance, gratefulness and merciful forgiveness. Unless we exhibit these qualities, the law of balance as God's justice will cause the wisdom and power aspects of the threefold flame to be reduced to the lowest common denominator of your external love plume. This means that the measure of your love will determine the measure of power and wisdom you are allowed to have. Many do not understand that before wisdom and power can be achieved, there is a great law that requires one to express a true and lasting love toward God and self and brother, sister as well, before he can possess any of these attributes. In the holy name of love, the masters would speak in a practical manner on the great need for keeping and maintaining one's personal harmony, not only in one's feelings, but also in one's thoughts. For harmony is not only the law of love, it is the epitome of love. They say it is the sign of love's true conquering heroes, according to the masters. In all noble efforts to precipitate substance, mankind will find no higher alchemical key than the purity of divine love flowing out of his consciousness as God's thoughts and feelings. They're like winged messengers of light, delivering blessings, attracting more of their kind, and returning to the alchemist blessings of the abundant life. Now, Saint Germain always gave a lot of practical insight as well in his writings. So this is the flip side of this, according to Saint Germain. And I'm going to offer it because perhaps it should be known to people. He said, some of the most dreaded diseases on earth manifest as a result of mankind's hatred toward one another. This, when returned to the sender, and you know from our laws that we have studied that everything we put out comes back to us. So when that comes back to the sender, it drives out the love element from the cells, thereby causing a perversion of their function. When cells have lost the cohesive power of love, they can no longer magnetize enough light to sustain bodily functions. Now this is a statement I don't think I've ever heard before, but it makes perfect sense when I found it. And I thought that would be important to include this. Only flood tides of love and oceans of violet fire can bring permanent resolution to the festering hatred that lodges in the psyche of some of humankind. Now, there's a lot more that he says about this, but basically he's talking what I call it long karma coming back into manifestation. So when you never judge what you see in another, because you don't know. You don't know why they have what they have or what's happening, or in yourself, because the long karma is it coming back from a lifetime, many lifetimes ago, 50 lifetimes ago, 100 lifetimes ago. You have to experience it sometime. So this is the sometime for some people. So the short karma, I guess, a rotation of karma coming in would be to experience it in the same lifetime, which now, while we're in the fifth dimensional energies, is happening today. We're getting more instant karma back, but there is still the karma that people have had to settle from a very long time ago. And they came to do that, and it's being done, and it's all according to God's higher plan, and we have no business judging any of it. It only pulls us down. And the next thing I read, I thought, oh my goodness, I never thought of this. It's every system of worlds, planetary or starry body that has ever been dissolved, whatever the apparent or scientific reason, has actually collapsed from within due to the withdrawal of the love charge from the sun center of its own existence. Now, that's a pretty powerful statement about love. Now, I also want to put here, since we're dealing with this flip side, a friend of mine was talking about a relative who is difficult to deal with, mostly negative. And what came to me was to possibly do an exercise with this person to demonstrate the power of positive, loving words as opposed to negative words, and do it with plants. Have 2 plants. This is simple. The kids do this in grade school. I mean, they've done these experiments about this. And if you have seen Secret of Water, you really realize what I'm talking about here. And if you haven't seen Secret of Water, why haven't you? Because it is a fundamentally important piece of information for you to have. Anyway, you take the 2 plants from a nursery, same plant species, same, engendered from the same place, same size, same everything, and take it home and put it into an environment in a room where there is the same airflow, the same light, same everything. And have the individual identify the plant that's going to receive all of the negative, like complaining and kind of moaning and groaning that they do, usually with other people, that makes them difficult to be around, and then make them promise, or they need to promise themselves actually, to go to the other plant with only loving thoughts, appreciating the plant and saying that they appreciate their own life. So this would be an extra little piece of exercise that could be physically demonstrated. You can walk away and let them do their own experiment. They should be able to see a difference in the plants after a few weeks. And if they are aware at all, they will be consciously aware of their effect on other people. Now, going on to his dialogue, he said, let it be known that when you exercise it, the law of love unites the purity of justice, mercy, and freedom in perfect balance through the threefold flame within your heart. Love has unlimited new worlds to conquer. Love is a promised land where the strength of the lion's nature is given to the heart of the lamb. And the good shepherd of the eternal covenant seals all in the victory of the expanding 3-in-1 flame. These things are so important to us. The act of love in ourselves, the act of giving love to other. The violet flame is the flame of love's forgiveness. This is why it's here, and we promote it. The violet flame is a dispensation given to the world through the efforts of Saint Germain. The karmic board and all those in charge of this planet and humanity's progress knew that we weren't moving along as nearly as fast as we should have. And this is one of the reasons that this dispensation was given. And by invoking the violet flame, we align with God and create the condition of the resolution of karmic patterns and invoke the power of love in greater measure. Remember that whatever we are claiming behind the words I am is a powerful statement requiring the fulfillment of whatever that is under the law. So you call it in. So in our call to make alignment with the violet flame, we are claiming it immediately. We are not looking for it to possibly come in at some point. Now, I'm going to read from this, the book put out by the Summit University. It's Head, Heart, and Hand Decrees. And it's a simple affirmation. They call them decrees. And it says, I am the violet flame. And it says, I am the violet flame in action in me now. I am the violet flame, to light alone I bow. I am the violet flame in mighty cosmic power. I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like a sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. It's easy to remember. It's easy to get into. There's a much simpler one that I use a lot more, and it just is simply, I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. I take lavender oil, essential oil, and as I'm saying it, I'm applying it to the crown, to my third eye, and to my heart, for sure. And like today, I usually throw in my throat chakra and my manifestor, the great solar plexus, to bring loving forgiveness everywhere there. Now, the Ho'oponopono, the Ho'oponopono of the Hawaiian Islands is very popular today, and it's used quite a bit in many places. And that is the forgiveness. I understand reading, it's hard to know who knows what on the internet, but the original story of how that came to be and how wonderful it was for the individual who did this. And he just did this frequently over a period of time, and found that all of his relationships with people changed dramatically, and his peace within himself was gained from this. Of course, you come across somebody who's going to say, well, that never happened. So I don't know, but I know it certainly is a powerful affirmation when they say these 4 sentences, and then you just do it during the day, anytime you want to bring this into your life. And they're very simple. You've heard them before. I'm just reminding you. It's, I love you, I'm sorry, I forgive you, and thank you. They're all very powerful in their own right anyway, but this is something you might want to realign within yourself or get back into. But Dr. Matt James' version has more imagery in it, and it includes an exercise used in work originated by Bandler and Bandler. But I, here in this exercise, add the violet fire to bring all of that in with the love's forgiveness in here, not just regular forgiveness. We're taking it up a notch. So if you want to just do a short exercise here, we'll begin with deep breathing. That's important to just bring in the light, bring yourself into the present, bring yourself alignment with the in-breath, and then out-breath, you're just releasing everything. In-breath and releasing. The in-breath and releasing. The in-breath and release. Now here you imagine a stage that's in front of you but below, on a lower level. Create that in your mind, and you're sitting above the stage. Now while you're sitting there, you imagine or bring in a bright cosmic light above your head and have it shining down on you. And you see it flowing all down through you and around you, completely infusing your entire body and all around it. You are just flooded with this great light, and you're lit up like a light bulb. So you're filled up with this cosmic light. Now another light comes in. This is from the same cosmic source, but this one is violet in color. Now you see it coming in the same way and infusing every cell in your body and extending to everything in your environment. You're in a glow of light of violet, and you need to keep this image of the violet in you and around you constantly during this exercise. That doesn't leave you. So now you look on the stage and bring in an individual, one or more individuals with whom you would have some difficulty in life or have had, and it just didn't quite resolve any time in your life, and put them on the stage. Now, with all of this beautiful, gorgeous, loving, forgiving light of the violet flame through you, you now open your heart and you flood that violet flame out and see it descending on that person or people, and seeing it now completely covering, infusing in them. They're breathing it in. They are now infused with the same beautiful violet flame that you have and that you're sharing from your heart. And it's healing them. And now you say to them, I forgive you. Please forgive me too. But do it from your heart. Do it several times if you have to. Know that you are really intending it, and from the great depth of your being, this is what you want. Now, if you need to select one person, if you've made it a group thing, then if you need to select one person to go through the same exercise with, or you want to redo it with somebody, you face them and you say, I forgive you. Please forgive me too. Now you thank all those, the person or the people you have invited on the stage. But before they leave, any of the bad connections that might exist between you and them, and there are bands or connections to them, these are not the good ones now. You're going to take a blade of light and just cut through them. Between you and them, you cut them away. All those bands are now cut. Anything that's negative from the past is done with. You visualize the stage, them leaving the stage and the stage disappearing. And all of the remnants that you might see still around you, if you're a very good visualizer, you see them disappearing as well. They no longer exist. Any of those connection things. And we end by taking 4 deep breaths and releasing everything to God. In the future, you might do the short form of the exercise that we talked about, the 4 sentences, by starting with anointing your head with lavender essential oil and make an affirmation to the violet flame and call in love's forgiveness at that time. Then say the 4 sentences with deep, heartfelt intent and repeat absolutely as often as you wish. Love does the work, but you are the love. Activate it, bring it into you. Be love in every way possible. Thank you. And now we'll go to our regular meditation. Thank you.
We begin by taking deep breaths in and out. In and out. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out as we draw our attention to our bodies, sitting firmly on the ground. We draw our attention to the solidity we feel under our feet. We feel ourselves really settle down into our bodies and further down into the ground. As though we're sinking a bit deeper and deeper down into the floor, down into the ground beneath, until we're like a tree or plant, or perhaps some burrowing animal or rock, settled in where we have firm, solid place. Here we know we can rest, we can rejuvenate. We feel ourselves sending outside of ourselves, outside of our bodies, outside of our fields, any energy that is no longer helpful to us. It flows out of us, it flows out of our feet, it seeps out of our pores, it sinks down to the ground. We let it go. We continue to push out any energies that are no longer useful, making sure they are cleared from us, from our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual bodies. We may see these negative energies or these lower energies or these heavier energies, these not useful energies around us, and they dissipate into the ground, being drawn off by Mother Earth to be utilized by other creatures. Once we feel this clearing is complete, we know we can take in any sort of energies that we require from the earth here in our little burrow. We feel the positive earth energies being drawn to us, almost as though we are a magnet. They are drawn to us. We welcome them in and give thanks to the earth. And we become aware of the energies shining down on us from the heavens, from the upper realms, from the spirit realms. And we reach up to connect to these energies. We feel our solid connection with spirit. It may feel as though it's coming perhaps the top of your head, perhaps the very middle of your head, or perhaps it feels like it's coming through your third eye or directly into your heart. But you know you are connecting with the light of spirit, of God, of all that is. You feel this beautiful light as it surrounds you, as it envelops you and holds you fast. We let the light continue to envelop us, surrounding us on every side. Once we feel our circle of light is built, we give thanks to Spirit. We give thanks to the earth. And we know now we can safely travel to our inner temple, our place of meditation and healing and light. We go there now. It can be any place we imagine. We spend a few moments settling into our inner landscape, our inner temple. Readying ourselves for a meditative journey. Today we will travel to the heavens and connect with the planetary energies in space. We take further deep breaths. And again, we imagine ourselves reaching upwards. First, we begin by reaching upwards to the sky. The sky above us may be clear and blue, it may be cloudy and gray, and maybe anything in between. But we reach up to the sky, and we keep going. We keep traveling upwards, and we begin to see an array of lights. And we keep traveling. It may feel as though you're rising upwards. You may feel some fluttering behind your eyelids as you see these lights flash by. We keep traveling through these lights until we reach a vast space. A vast space that is inky and black. It is dark and cool and quiet. And we spend a moment here being aware that we have space. We are surrounded by a vast amount of space. And we have the opportunity to bring in vast energies. After spending a moment here, we begin our travels to bring in some specific planetary energies. First, we focus on the energies of the planet Mercury. These planetary energies are associated with travel, with communication, with interconnectedness. We take a moment to align with these energies of movement, these messenger energies. We feel ourselves surrounded by them. Now we can begin drawing these energies in. We may feel drawn to bring them into ourselves. Or perhaps we feel ourselves guided to send these mercurial energies elsewhere, to another situation or person or place where they may be of use. We take a moment now to direct energies of communication, of travel, to where we are most drawn to send them. Giving thanks to the energies of Mercury, we now move to a different planet, the planet of Mars. The energies here are very different. Here we have warrior energies, not necessarily warlike, but strong. These energies of the spiritual warrior, of strength, begin to inundate us. Encouraging us to be more assertive, encouraging us to defend others, encouraging us that we are free to go out and get what we need or what we desire. We feel ourselves connecting to these strong warrior energies. We feel them swirling all around us. These energies may make us think of a particular color. They may just give us a certain feeling. We may see symbols or images that we associate with these qualities. But we take a moment to immerse ourselves in these energies. And then we decide whether we would like to take more of these energies into our own being, or whether perhaps we would like to direct them to another person or place or situation where they are required. We direct these Martian energies to where they are most needed now. Once the energetic movement is complete, we give thanks to the energies of Mars. We find ourselves moving swiftly to the planet Venus. We feel ourselves enveloped in these energies of nurturing, of love, these very feminine energies. We take some time to call up any images, any words or symbols, any sounds or scents or pictures that may remind us of this nurturing, loving feminine energy. We call these things to mind now. After we feel we have really connected to these energies of Venus, we then make the decision whether to take some into ourselves or perhaps to direct them outwards to another person or place or situation where they are most needed now. We take another few moments to really gather this Venusian energy towards us, to take it into us if need be, and perhaps to send it forth as well. Once we feel this energy transfer is complete, we give thanks to Venus. And we continue our planetary journey, this time moving to the great planet that is Jupiter. Drawing near, we find ourselves surrounded by Jupiter's massive energy. These energies are associated with power, with authority. We feel ourselves becoming more and more aware of how these energies feel to us and what they mean to us. We may at this time see images or symbols, colors or sounds that we associate with power, with authority. As we continue to connect with these massive energies. Once we feel strongly connected with the energies of power and authority that are associated with Jupiter, we find ourselves able to direct a small portion of these energies either towards ourselves or to another purpose where these energies will be most useful. We find ourselves directing this energy now to wherever we are guided to do so. We continue for a moment, sending forth this energy, pouring its light and strength towards wherever it will do the most good. Once this energetic transfer seems complete, we give thanks to the energies of Jupiter, and we begin our travels to the last of the planets we will visit on this journey, the energies of Saturn. As we draw closer to the energies of this planet, we feel its strong pull. We feel the pull of the energies associated with Saturn, the taskmaster, the bringer of order. We may begin to feel inundated with images, symbols, feelings that we associate with law and order. And we take a moment to really connect with these energies. As we feel these energies grow, we may feel a swirling around us. Or perhaps more like neat soldier energies marching in. but we feel our ability to direct this energy either to ourselves, to something in our own life, or perhaps to something outside of ourselves, a person, place, or situation that would most benefit from more energies of order, of organization, of completion. We take a moment to send forth these energies as we are guided to do so. Once we feel this directing of energies is complete, we give thanks. We give a special thanks to Saturn, a general thanks to all the planets, those we spoke of today and all the many others. And we feel ourselves one more time taking in the vastness of space before we take a large step back to our own inner temple. We take a moment here to regroup, to quiet ourselves, to feel ourselves pulling our energies back to Earth. Now, taking some deep breaths, we feel ourselves coming back even further into our own bodies, our own selves, our own homes, returning slowly but steadily. Once back in our bodies, we feel ourselves fully present. Welcome back, and thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. That was beautiful. Well, I hope you have found our website at CCWH.com. And when you go there, you might find the drop-down menu labeled Get Involved at the top right, where you might also see the affirmations. There are more channeled affirmations than just our Faith, Hope, and Charity one there. Our prayer list is found there as well, where you can add someone. And here you can also find a place to make a contribution, for which we would be very grateful. And while you're there, why not consider being a member?
Thank you, Kelly.
For 44 years, CCWH has been an amazing place for spiritual learning, growth, and value. We will continue to provide value that will enrich your spiritual journey. Donations big and small makes what we do possible. Please help us help you and others by making a donation today. Click here to visit ccwh.com. Thank you.